Hey, welcome. It's AKAnundrum, and welcome to another amazing episode of the Drum Circle Show, where we get to learn a lot about some of our unknown and unsung entrepreneurial heroes in the Black community. So I'm so excited to present our new business today. Why? Well, it's one of those businesses that are like, non-sexy, the ones that we really don't think about going into, but the staple businesses that I think most of us should be going into instead of always tracing trends. But you know what I like about this business? Although they're stapled in something that's stable, they put a little twist on it. So I'm not going to teach you too much. I'm going to let the amazing founder and creator of this business introduce himself, how long he's been in his business, and give you a general idea of what he does, and then we'll get into it. So with no further ado, I'm going to turn it over to you.
So I want to thank you again for this opportunity for being on the Drum Circle Show. My name is Robert Knighton. I am the owner of the Plug Appliances, which is located in Cleveland, Ohio. We are a certified used and a scratch and dent appliance dealer. We also do custom wrap appliances as well. That's kind of that special twist that you were just talking about. We specialize in making sure that we give 5-star service and 5-star products, no matter what your background is. So that's and for an affordable price, you know. So that's what we do.
Awesome. Awesome. So you're in the appliance business, right? The thing I love about the appliance business, or any businesses like appliances, we all need them. Like every single person who lives in the United States is going to use some form of an appliance, right? So
Yes,
this is a business that never goes away, never has it's like, oh, okay, is it going to be hot? Now, of course, appliances are going to change. I think it's kind of like a little slow over time, right? You don't get too many different iterations. It's not like the iPhone where it's just like every single year you kind of almost try to keep up with it. So it's that stable business, right? So how long have you been in business? And also, where did you start versus where you are right now currently, like in your location, physical? Like, are you only online or are you in a brick and mortar? Where are you doing this at?
So I have a brick and mortar, which is a 40,000 square foot warehouse over in northeast side of Cleveland. But we also do online sales as well. I started this business back in 2016. Well, I started a business back in 2016. It was an iteration of this. We were doing moving people, and we were selling everything, not just appliances. I didn't become serious about only selling appliances until 2018. But when I was doing everything together, it just kind of culminated because I was moving people in and out of their homes. They needed appliances, they needed furniture, they couldn't take appliances, they couldn't take furniture. So it made me become more profitable in the very beginning. So it was like a full circle at the Drum Circle, you know. From there, like I said, when I started focusing on the appliances only, I went from housing everything in a 2.5 car garage to where I'm at now, a 40,000 square foot building. And I've only been in, having this 40,000 square feet for about a year now. But one of the beautiful things about, being in the right space at the right time and doing God's work, he's always putting you in the right position. And, luckily I'm in a position to buy my own building in downtown Cleveland that we're looking to do. That's about 50,000 square feet. Wow. So we're really just, God has been good.
Right. And one of the things that you just stuck out to me, one, besides the fact of moving from a 2-car garage to a 40,000 square foot warehouse, like, I don't know if you guys know, because I'm not really good with numbers and space, but 40,000 is huge. Okay, that much I know. 40,000 square feet warehouse. That is absolutely huge. And I definitely want to get into that a little bit too. Like, what is that like when you're renting out a space of that size, in terms of, getting ready and getting prepped for something of that magnitude. But another thing that I love that is actually personal to me, it was just my experience the other day, which you just said, is you pivoted in response to the needs of the customer. Like a lot of times when we start a business, we have an idea of what we think people need, right? Yeah. Sometimes we're usually fixing something that we needed or something that we're kind of familiar with. But what I love is when business owners get out of their own way and they really listen to their customers, they create responsive businesses. So the other day, I'm moving my daughter out, right, of my other apartment. And so I had booked someone on Thumbtack, and we were just thinking about first the waste removal, right? Taking out all the bulks of trash because she's moving out of state. So it's a lot that we're just getting rid of, right? Well, I booked with him, and then another guy called me the next day, and I thought it was him just doing a follow-up call, but it wasn't. So the thing that got me was this guy calls and says, hey, I know you were looking for someone. And I'm like, oh, well, actually, I found someone. And he said, I gave him the rate. He said, that's a really good rate. And, I'm glad you found someone. He said, if anything happens, though, I want to make myself available. And two, if you need any additional services like patching up the wall and painting, I said, wait, hold up, don't leave. Yes, I need all of that. As a matter of fact, I was about to book another person. Yep. So I said, wait, let me cancel with this guy real quick, right? Because he was like, I can do everything. He said, we do cleanup. We do, move out cleanup. He said, and if you're moving out of state, which my daughter is, he said, we're also working with pods. So he was just like, boom, boom, boom on that convenience factor.
Yep. Yep,
and it seems like that's what you tapped into. You saw like, okay, they're moving, they need appliances, right? And you said, let me off instead of, because I'm quite sure at some point they were asking for these services or you were hearing it. And then you decided, let me be the answer instead of just referring and everything. I think that's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So when we get into other differentiators, because to me, that convenience factor is key. Then the differentiators, right? Because you're in a stable business, but that also means a lot of times that's a largely serviced industry, right? Yep. Like in the hood, we can find appliance stores, besides all the other stable businesses that we know are in the hood on every corner. But, like I know when I was growing up, like the appliance stores were everywhere and, stuff like that. So what has been a way that you've been able to stand out in this very, I would say like crowded?
Well, I think one of the things for me right now is if you just take the name, The Plug, I've actually taken something, sorry about that phone. I've taken something that, we as a culture know and are familiar with and capitalize on it, really. I market The Plug in a way that is very unique. It also doesn't hurt the fact that people know that we have great quality products and we have great customer service. You know what I'm saying? That also plays a part in everything. You can't be a good business or you can't have good marketing. Or you can have good marketing, but if you have a quality product, a not so good product or not so good service to back that good marketing up, it's only going to be a facade, at some point, So we not only, like I said, market ourselves well with the logo, with the way we do our Instagram, social media posts and things of that nature. We definitely step outside the box. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, we not only do the work behind the scenes, but we do it, in front of the scenes as well.
And so now also, can you let them know a little bit about this customization? Because I haven't seen this anywhere. We're used to seeing it on vehicles, right? We see it on cars, but I've never seen anyone decide to wrap an appliance. Like, we got to know a little bit more about that.
So that's actually, once again, that's just a God thing, somebody has planted the seed. We were supposed to kind of make a collaboration thing. And, just because their work ethic wasn't where I needed it to be for us to make it a collab thing, he still planted that seed and went on. And now I just took it and went on with it. And so, like you said, the custom wrapped appliances is something very new to the appliance world. Where we can do anything that you could think of. If you want to make it a sports team, if you want to make it a whole color themed kitchen where, it's almost like it blends in with everything. Say if you have marble countertops or marble everything, we can make the whole, your appliances all marble. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the beautiful thing about it is it's a removable wrap. So you're actually protecting your appliances. And so for resale or for whatever, you want to go back to just the original pieces. it's no problem. You protected it this whole time.
I think that is absolutely ingenious. And because personally, over my life, I don't even know how many stoves and refrigerators I've purchased. I remember moving, and when you're renting, you don't really have control over a lot of the base decor. And so, you have this one, and I don't know, back in the day, a lot of people were so into like the matching, honey. We had the matching oven mitts, you had the towels, you had the little, you had the whole little hookup, right? And so that was a big thing. And I remember just like I had white was standard. Then I remember, you got black appliances, like, you was doing it big, you know what I mean? When you got black. Right. And then, trying to like, okay. And then people started getting like wood paneling, to match their cabinets and stuff like that. I just think that that's absolutely ingenious because one, it's a cost saver because, these appliances cost. So you get you something nice and you're able to reface that. And then on top of that, you are protecting the appliance too for the potential resale. I think that that is absolutely ingenious. And the fact that it's not permanent, like you said, it comes off. Now I saw somebody with the Gucci print. I saw on your site, I saw the Gucci print. I saw one that was like black and gold, which I thought was pretty fly, but like the marble, and now you got me kind of like, as I'm looking at my table, like, wait a minute, I think that's absolutely
anything you can think of, anything.
Yeah, I mean, especially some people really like to go out for the holidays, like if they're having their family over for Christmas and stuff like that. I think that that is so absolutely ingenious. And again, that to me was a key differentiator that I had never seen anywhere else. So with this part, I kind of want to get into a little bit about your journey, right, as an entrepreneur. I myself personally, I speak to a lot of people who are first generation, real like bona fide entrepreneurs sometimes. And so we don't have that language. We don't have the, lexicon of just common use terms, right? And that definitely means operations, procedures, laws, things like that we struggle with. So I'm assuming you're the first in your family to go from that, like you said, 2-car garage to a 40,000 square foot space.
I am.
What was that like?
Well, listen, it's definitely what I say is on this road of life, as long as you can keep recalculating, your GPS keep recalculating, and you know what your end goal was, and you can just recalculate to get back on road, to get back on track, that's what it's about. And I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I might not have always, went about it the right way because of the simple fact that I was brainwashed I ain't gonna say brainwashed, but I was conditioned. My mom was a school teacher, whole family came from school teachers. So I went and got a degree in education, tried to get out here and do my thing. Didn't work out, went back and got a degree in civil engineering. Didn't work out. And then I became unemployed. And that's when I had my back against the wall, and it was one of those things where unemployment wasn't going to cut the bills, and I had to make it shake because I had a wife and 3 kids, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that was the point of when I had the safety nest from before, trying to be an entrepreneur while being a W-2 person. That safety net didn't allow me to really be me. You know what I'm saying? And so when I didn't have anywhere else to I didn't have any other options but to do this, or else I felt like I was going to sink. I think that's when my entrepreneurial ship just, flew off, and, just let go and let God.
So when you decided, okay, I need to get out of this 2-car garage and get into the 40,000 square feet, did you go straight from that, or did you do something smaller first?
Yeah, everything was a baby step. It was 2-car garage to adding on a storage unit, to the 2-car garage. Then that not being enough, and moving over to while I was waiting for a storefront to get renovated. I was in a side of an abandoned warehouse, but it was like 7,000 square feet. But it was, when I say it was abandoned, when it was raining inside, But that showed me there that I was still selling appliances. People will come and buy appliances from you almost anywhere, as long as they feel comfortable with you and they know that, it doesn't, you put the effort into making it look like it's worth something. I've always made sure we cleaned up our appliances. We've spray painted them. I actually call ourselves sanitation artists because of how we renovate or bring back these appliances. Because a lot of times the used appliances that we get, you wouldn't touch them with a 10-foot pole. But then after we put our hands on it and we put the plug way on there, it's selling off I can't hold on to it,
Right. So now for anyone who would even be thinking or considering, taking their business from e-commerce to a brick and mortar concept, one thing that I do want to note that you said that I think was very, very important is you allowed your business to inform and dictate you the growth. There's a lot of people who jump into business and then they assume they're going to need this space and they assume, so they go out and they rent these spaces and then the business is not justifying the overhead costs. Whereas with you got to each pain point. Okay, I'm out of room. Then you said you added a storage facility there on your premise. Then you were like, okay, we've outgrown that. Now we've outgrown this. So at each increment, it sounds like as you were outgrowing, that's when you decided to move into the spaces, right? And so to me, that's the correct way to grow, right? A lot of times, again, we try to grow in anticipation. So for anyone who's considering, they're like at that pain point of like, we're kind of stacked. We're stacked in here. Where does that like real moment where you're like, okay, you absolutely should take that next step and that financial investment to move into a bigger space? Like what was that moment for you each time that you were like, it's time to go?
I really just feel like I was bursting at the seams, that's for me, because these appliances, they take up so much space. And while you have to have a system in regards to how you operate, you still need space in order to perform the way you need to perform. We literally sell 100 to 150 appliances a week, and which means that we have to keep up with the space in order to push that stuff out. I gotta have a system to where not only am I pushing those amount of appliances out, but I have to receive enough and process enough for me to be able to say I'm always going to be able to keep up with the demand that I have now built.
Wow. So you are basically warehouse and fulfillment, right, at the same time. Whereas a lot of other businesses, we tend to, get our goods from the vendor or the provider, and then we disperse the goods to the customer. You basically have to be both, right, of those things. So I can only imagine your inventory game, because like that part right there has to be the make or break for you, is the inventory monetization. So you don't have to share, what services that you use if you don't want. But I'm very interested to know, how did that inventory tracking and system for you become like, you had to master that skill? Did you have to go into your own inventory system, or were you able to find systems and platforms that satisfied what you need?
So yeah, we were able to find a system that was already out there. We use QuickBooks. We just attribute a SKU number to a certain item. The only thing that I systematically have not done yet is, like most companies, I need to be able to go from the very beginning of the life cycle of when I purchase the appliance to the very end of when it's in the customer's home. Right now, the only tracking that we do is after we've processed it, certified it, and we cleaned it, and it's ready for the showroom floor. That's when the inventory steps in for us, and then we, track it from that point on. So I do know that eventually the manpower is always the biggest issue in regards to being able to, do the other things that you would like to do. But I would like to get it from the very beginning, so you have really true numbers. You kind of know, maybe who's your source that's giving you the best quality appliances for the best price, and so forth and so on.
Yes. So, and that leads to, the next thing that I always kind of ask about is like some of the challenges that are very unique that we face in terms of, okay, these are some of the challenges, like you spoke of, is that life cycle of the product, right? That in terms of onboarding, the life cycle of it, where is it coming from? Where are you getting the quality of goods? What is your key disbursement area? And even for that, that's in marketing. So even in marketing, a lot of times we are tracking where are my sales coming from, right? And we typically do that, like say through an affiliate link or to see what platform is performing the best for us. For you, it may be even like you said, I know you do B2B. So you work with property managers, right? So that could be your turnaround customer that's constantly churning out for you. So you're tracking key indicators from now, as I understand it, a couple of different places. One, it could be an affiliate program through customers who are referring. It could also be property managers who are having that quicker turnover, who are constant customers. But you also have to track for when you get your inventory, what inventory is performing the best for you. So this is like, okay, this is a vendor that I really need to get with and go on. And then being able to now also track that. There are definitely automation systems that will help you with that you can actually customize your triggers for. So, there's things like even Monday, I would say Monday.com is a platform that will allow you to like create different triggers that funnel into other triggers that you can actually customize for specific information and cause an action on that. So there are definitely systems. And I was wondering that because your business is unique in the sense of, kind of like what you do, but also there are other people who do what you do. But I would say because that business is kind of like old and it comes from that writing it down, until you're forced, you don't really move on from that. You know what I mean? You're just kind of like, okay, we track it. But that level of efficiency, one, it would highly reduce waste, right? In terms of any waste and any overage and things like that. Because I'm just imagining all of the like, okay, this inventory is dead and sitting. So what do you do if you have inventory that's not moving? That's a question that I would want to know.
Well, I do a lot of creative marketing.
Okay.
In my city, you would just know you got to pay attention to my social media pushes. I'll toss the whole store 50% off, just to move stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like even with the already low prices, it's all free and clear. So if I just if I need to move some inventory because I have so much log jam to come back out, I can absolutely do that by just lowering the price and doing value. That's what the plug is about. Hey, lower the price, move volume. The plug is not trying to sit on anything. You know what I'm saying? Right. The plug is trying to flood the streets, and that's what the same business model we take. And matter of fact, to say that too, I know you talk about the different constituents that we use. Property managers, we actually do a lot of community-based work with Catholic charities, with the actual county, with the homeless displacement centers. We do a lot of work in the community just to make sure, we're moving product, but we're helping our community.
That's beautiful. I think that's absolutely amazing in terms of if I have this excess inventory, I'm going to try to reduce the cost fundamentally. But if I can't, what better, than to provide that appliance and possibly even get a tax reduction for doing that. So I think that's brilliant. Like, it's like everywhere you go, all I see is opportunity. So one of the things that I do want to, quickly follow up in is like, for you, what was kind of that sort of an obstacle moment that, you were able to overcome? Like, we have all these challenges and everything, but sometimes we're uniquely positioned to overcome. So what was one of the things in your business that you found was like, okay, this was an issue for me, and this is how I was able to overcome it? I
would honestly go back to a little bit of manpower. In order for me to and to be in a 40,000 square foot warehouse, I couldn't do it by myself. And so at some point I realized that, technicians is what's going to get me to the next level. And so I had to really recruit and be smart about recruiting, people of like-mindedness that was able to, come together. We become a team and we move forward in the right way to help out.
Absolutely. Yes, that part right there is absolutely key for your industry. Now, with the way that, people are changing their ideas and their views about work, right? Since we've been indoors, a lot of people are now, they're just like changing the nature of how they want to work and who they want to work for and where they get their time. So a lot of other corporations are experiencing a lack in terms of employment pool. From the pandemic, have you noticed that same sort of like people don't want to work? Is the narrative that's being pushed? Are you noticing that you're getting an influx of people who want to work and want to work differently? So how has that impacted you?
Well, I definitely see the lack of wanting to work, but I feel like it's maybe transitioning from the lack of wanting to work to the wanting to work for themselves more. You know what I'm saying? And so, because I would like to say that the pandemic gave people the autonomy, you know what I'm saying? And once they realized that what freedom looked like and what liberty looked like outside of the walls of the 9 to 5, that's when, I think the whole work construct kind of, fell apart. But my goal is to become the first national used appliance dealer, because we have national property managers that have property all over. There's not one national used appliance dealer out there at all. So what I want to do is I want to become, I'm actually in the midst of becoming the first minority MBE certified appliance retail store in the nation. I've done my research. There's no MBE certified retail appliance store in the nation. So I'm in the process of doing that. I then need to also build up my team even more. I want to have Cleveland as being a training ground for how we train our technicians, and then we can send them out as we start to spread our wings. The only way I'm going to be able to do this is if I take the people that we train and then put them out in our franchise locations, and then allow them to gain the profits from the way that we, from that chain. I'm obviously still going to make my money, but they have more of a sense of ownership because they're making profits off of what they're doing.
I think, and you just remedied the initial issue you talked about. People are now wanting ownership. They don't want to just simply work. So you're presenting them with the opportunity to train into a system that can then become a long-term goal and focal point, so that they can actually have something that they own. You know what I mean? Something that they're able to now work for themselves and get that freedom that you talked about and that autonomy and everything. I think that's absolutely great. So in this little bit of time, please, could you let everyone know now, all of your names and your banners and everything on the bottom of the screen, of course, but let them know where to find you, anything that you have going on, anything that you want to talk about right now. The floor is absolutely yours.
Well, you can find me on Instagram at The Plug Cleveland. You can find us on the web at theplugohio.com. What we are going to be definitely rolling out very, very soon in a full-scale manner is we're going to be the only company in America that's offering lifetime warranties on your appliances. Yes, you understand what I just said. It's only because the plug can do it. You know what I'm saying? Yes, because your appliances is going to break at some point in your life. And if you buy the appliance, the lifetime warranty, you will never have to worry about a fridge, a stove, a washer, dryer, whatever. We'll take care of it. Either through service or replacing it, it's going to get taken care of the plug way. So that's going to be on the horizon very soon. That's actually another revenue piece that we're going to be rolling out as we're going to do monthly subscriptions, and we're going to do the one-time lifetime payment to where you're just covered. You're a customer for life, literally.
Yes. And this gives me an opportunity for a gem dropping moment. So I've talked to you guys in the past about revenue streams that are going to be consistent, and they're going to be the new method and the models that you want to incorporate. And that main one is subscription-based business. Now, most of us think subscriptions, we think about music subscriptions sometimes, or we think about physical subscriptions. We rarely ever think about service-based subscription models. And what the Plug Ohio is doing is necessary, and it's innovative, and it's brilliant. Why? Because one, with them being a lifetime membership, they'll be able to now actually give you security. The one thing that you're always concerned about is my appliance and it isn't going to break down. There's a concept called planned obsolescence, which a lot of people don't know about. Planned obsolescence means that the manufacturers who have built our products, our cars, our washing machines, our dryers, or even our phones, they have the ability to actually create products that last much longer than they do, but they don't. Why? Because then we wouldn't return. So planned obsolescence means they're actually planning in the death of your product so that you'll come back and you will purchase. So now that items are actually being degraded, it's built into it. What are we going to need? They're going to have to be either repurchased or fixed. So the Plug Ohio is doing something absolutely brilliant by, one, giving you that security as a customer and creating a subscription-based business model based on a service model. So that's absolutely brilliant. And if you like that, Drew, drop some coins as usual, okay? So I also want to let you know the Plug, which he doesn't know, so you guys are finding this out with him. You said that they could find you on Instagram and of course the web and everything else. Well, they can now also find you in the Black Virtual Mall. That's right. We are going to be placing the Plug on the drum circle floor that will be rolling out. By the time you guys watch this, it'll be up and running. You will be on the drum circle floor. So they'll be able to find the Plug Ohio on the drum circle floor in the Black Virtual Mall. So that's another sales channel and another attraction magnet for you. I think what you're doing is amazing. I wish you well. I thank you so much for your time. And as usual, hope we draw some gems. Hope you got something out of it. Hope you got some value. And make sure you tap in with the Plug and be inspired. Follow his journey. It's amazing. And get your custom piece. All right. All right. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.